This is going to be a healing heart pick a card reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. You know, this reading really came about spontaneously while I was filming another reading. I was using these 3 brand new decks that I got, and I said, hey, do we need to do a pick a card reading for the heart? And many of you said yes. So I am happy to do that for you. You know, I think that the emotions have been running so high, you know, up and down. There's been anxiety and worry and sadness and anger and tension and just overwhelm. You know, the other day after the full moon, I had such a big cry. And not because someone or something really got to me, it was because I was feeling this emotion coming to the surface that maybe needed to be addressed. And I think that's the energy of the full moon in Leo, you know, things coming to light or to a head and needing to address them. And I had a feeling of gratitude for all the trials and tribulations that I've been through, because without them, I wouldn't be here doing this with you right now. So it was an overwhelming sense of gratitude, but also thinking about things that I used to know or people that I used to know. And sometimes we have to accept that the past is the past, right? We've got to move forward, onwards and upwards always. So I invite you to take a look at these 3 decks and choose one that resonates with you the most. You know, deck number 1 here, Divine Compass, maybe you're looking for direction, okay? Deck number 2, Healing Heart Shadows, maybe you're dealing with some emotions that need to be addressed or some shadow work. And deck number 3, Sacred Soul Portals, maybe you're excited about stepping into a new era in your life, and that can give you some direction. So, like I said, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you want to watch one video or one part of the video, 2 parts of the video, or all 3, it's up to you. The last time I did a pick a card, it was almost like it was all one. They were all connected, but it's up to you. Whatever resonates with you. So make your choice. And in the meantime, I'm going to move these other decks to the side. And I'm going to start with the Divine Compass. So if you chose deck number 1, please let me know in the comments. As well as, you know, let's see what's going to come out. What are your intentions for this reading? Now, what I'm going to do is use another new deck, and it's no coincidence, by the way, that I bought 2 decks with basically the same name. This is called the Healing Heart Oracle, and the other one is called Healing Heart Shadows. So no coincidences there. But this deck really, really touched me emotionally when I saw it. So we're going to get an overall theme for your reading. And let's see what we need to know. And we have here, Unseen Heart. You are significant. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't feel seen or heard. Or maybe you grew up feeling that way, you know? So we're going to put this at the center of your reading because I want to be heart-centered with this, okay? So let's take a look. Divine Compass. Let's look at what is surrounding that energy for you in the heart. Spirit Link. Stay aligned with your highest dreams and ideals to find success. You're divinely guided. Please excuse the kitty cat in the background who decides when the camera goes on that she wants to play. Of course. So let's see. Maybe that's a sign to play or to be adventurous. Answers unfold. Keep your mind open and be willing to learn from this experience. Make a change. You know what song came to my mind when I saw that was Man in the Mirror. You know, make that change. So let's see what else. We have here Inner Vision. Cut through the fog of confusion with your power of discernment and see what's real. You know, sometimes we are afraid to get through the fog because it means that we have to be in new energy, you know, that we need to be in clarity. And it's not always fun to be in clarity. You know, I always ask the question, would you rather be in ignorance is bliss? Like, would you rather be in an energy where you didn't know? I can't personally, because I can't unknow or unsee what I know and what I see. So let's see. Dreamweaver. Dreaming and imagining brings powerful vision into reality. Make miracles. I really think that the theme of this reading for deck number 1 is basically that you got to make some moves. Duality dance. Seek balance amid the chaos and find harmony within yourself. But be gentle as you do this, steady as you go. Nothing has to be done overnight. I think that's what's intimidating for people, is that they think that they have to do things right away or go 0 to 100. You really don't have to. And look at this, wish granted. The outcome may not be exactly what you want, but it's what you need. It's for your highest good. And that's the whole point. Don't try to control anything. Allow things to come to you as necessary. And worthy goal. Get out and be inspired to keep working towards your life's purpose. You need some fresh ideas. Spark new energy for yourself. And new heights. Let your connection with spirit ground you as you reach for the sky. Growth potential. Okay? That's really beautiful. Let me just take some tarot cards here just to sort of clarify, and then we'll move on. But that spirit link energy, King of Swords, you have to stay true to yourself and be decisive about your goals, okay? Answers unfold. King of Wands, passion, purpose, forward motion. The more you move yourself, the more you will learn. And seeing what's real here, you know what? You've got to take off the blinders. If you're feeling restricted and held back, that devil energy is, is what's holding you back. You're letting other people dictate. You're afraid to make boundaries. You're afraid to free yourself. It's kind of like, what am I going to worry about when I have nothing to worry about kind of vibes. And that Dreamweaver, 7 of Cups, this is dreams. 7 of Cups is dreams. What do you dream about? Now, duality dance, we have here the King of Pentacles. Do you notice that you have 3 King cards here? That's beautiful, strong energy to make some moves. That's not playing around. King of Pentacles is somebody who's in it for the long haul. Now, wish granted, 2 of Wands. You got to leave your comfort zone. Make a decision. Worthy goal, Queen of Cups. Trust your intuition. Don't overgive to everybody, because that can hold you back. And new heights. I thought those cards were going to pop out. New heights. We have here 8 of Cups. You got to walk away from things that no longer serve you. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. Okay. Well, please let me know in the comments if this reading resonated with you. I'm going to put these cards back into the deck, and then we will move on to deck number 2. Feel free to stick around and watch and see if there's other messages for you, or if you feel satisfied with number 1, then I'm happy for you. Okay, so let's take a look at deck number 2, which was the Healing Heart Shadows, okay? So let's take the overall message for deck number 2. If you're looking to heal your heart, I'm getting double healing here. Okay, cautious heart. Have enough wisdom to get back up. I love that. You got to get up and go. You got to make it or break it. You're always going to make it. That's what I always say. So let's see. What messages do you need to know? Clearing. Cutting through the BS. Standing your ground. Fighting for what's right. Putting yourself first. Believing in yourself. Work. Very high maintenance, not worth the trouble, emotional heavy lifting. Meaning, if something is too hard, in the sense like if the relationship was too hard, whatever the type of relationship, to me that's not what we're looking for. Yes, you're going to have to work at something. And yes, you want to get through the tough times. You know, we don't just give up. But if you've done everything you possibly can, then there does come a point where you've got to move on. This is hung up. Keep getting drawn in, waiting too long, trying to get past it. So this is my point. It almost reminds me of TV shows like, you know, Shark Tank or Dragon's Den in the UK or Canada, as we call it. It's like whenever somebody is discussing their investment and the sharks say, well, how much have you invested? And then they say, I don't know, X amount of dollars. And they're like, whoa, at what point do you stop? Like, at what point do you cut yourself off and be like, yeah, that's not for me. Like, don't invest anymore. It's not worth it. There does come a point where you do have to let go. And I think people have a really hard time with this because they say, I've already gone this far. I can't give up. But again, the word is not give up. It's surrender. It's let go, let God, let the universe take the wheel. You have to cut your losses at a certain point and redirect yourself. You know, I'll remind you of what I say about a Roomba vacuum. A Roomba spins around the room and hits the wall and redirects itself. Same thing. If you hit a wall, redirect yourself. Cut your losses at a certain point if you have to. But then when you go and move forward, yes, be cautious. That's okay, be cautious. But don't close yourself off completely. Have the wisdom and the knowledge. You're not starting at zero. You're starting with knowledge you didn't have before, right? And this says sideways, sneaking around, not sure where you stand, passive aggressive. So, you know, this is like the shadow work that you need to do. You know, you've got to clear out the old stuff. You have to do the work. If you're hung up on something, you have to ask yourself why. You know, why is that attractive to you? And if you're going sideways and, you know, trying to avoid things or going round and round and round with no shift, it's not doing you any favors. So guidance, advice from a friend, get the support you need, going the right direction. So these are things I can help you with. But you have to be willing to do the work. That's what it comes down to. Step by step, day by day. It doesn't happen overnight. And transform. Ending is a beginning. Guided through dark times, emerging into the light. Stings. Stung by rejection. Harsh words still hurt. Forgiveness helps heal. You know, it's interesting. Forgiveness is really about you, not about the other person. I know that this is a huge debate online. You know, you hear people say, I don't have to forgive anybody. Well, if you're angry at somebody and you're holding on to that forever, what good does it do? Do you think those people go to bed at night worried about whether you forgive them or not? I don't believe they do. It's about you. It's about where you're putting your energy. And yes, rejection hurts, but I want to remind you something. You're not into everybody who's into you, and vice versa. Okay, not everybody's going to feel the same way as you do. And that's a part of relationships and dating. And unfortunately, we don't want any harsh words. Some people are very sensitive and they take things to heart. But what matters most is what you believe about yourself. You know who you are. You know your authentic truth. So even if something does sting, take it with a grain of salt. You know, sometimes we don't want to accept certain situations or words, but what can we do other than move forward? And so it feels to me like there could be some twisted truths here or distortion, you know, where maybe you need to address some anxiety that you have about love and dating and moving forward, whatever it is. What really matters is your authentic truth. That's what I was just saying. It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. It matters what you think. So let's go back to the tarot. Oh, this card couldn't wait. And we have here the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a card that says, believe in miracles. The early stages of something really nice. You know, when you start clearing out the old energy and you get a taste of the new, it's amazing what you can experience. Sometimes you have no idea. And when you cross that bridge or you get that taste, it makes you want more. And so I like that. It's like the early stages of something. Now, interesting, this card kind of went flying out, and it's about work. Not worth the trouble. Emotional heavy lifting. Well, the Queen of Cups, what does she do? She overgives to everybody, and she puts herself last. If that's you and you're constantly give, well, that's going to put you in last place. And I'm not saying that you can't give to people, but you have to really prioritize yourself over anything. Your own peace and your own happiness is number one. So that hung up card, Knight of Cups. See, here's the thing. You might be hung up on the potential of something. You're drawn into it. It's a test. Every time somebody comes back and says, I've changed, or let's try this, but you've done this already 10 times, you know, like how many rounds can you go? At a certain point, there's nothing left, you know? So in order to get past it, you have to get past the potential. You have to let go of the potential because that's not the reality. Now, sideways, let's see. We have here Judgment. Yeah, wake up call. You have to go through it. You can't go around it. You can't be going left, right, backwards, onwards and upwards. So Judgment is a wake up call. It's a decision. You know, are you in the old, are you in the new? How many times could I possibly say that in a given week? We need to take bets. We need like a bingo card. We need like a Kelly Lorraine bingo card. Okay, guidance. Queen of Swords, you got to make boundaries. You got to cut things out that no longer serve you. That's the guidance. That's your answer. If you want healing, boundaries. Boundaries is the key. Transform. Five of Wands. There's the conflict. Tug of war, back and forth. Should I, shouldn't I? Can I have this? Can I really have this? Am I ready to let go? Can I let go? Of course you can. And by the way, as I was shuffling, I saw a card that was turned over. Where is it then? Of course, when I look for it. I know I saw, oh, there it is right there. See, Ace of Cups. Brand new emotional beginning. Filling your own cup. That's the advice. Okay, let's look at that Stings card and see what you need to know. The Magician. Interesting. Words can hurt. Absolutely. But you know, the Magician is Gemini and Virgo energy, which is Mercury. And you have all the tools to manifest. If you're thinking about those things that people said to you or called you, you know, I really hope people weren't calling you names or, you know, terrible things. But you have to be careful that you're not telling yourself those same things. That self-talk is really important because you'll manifest more of it. So in order to heal, you have to regulate yourself. And that twisted energy here, Ten of Swords. Interesting imagery, actually, because look at what we have. We have the twisted, right? And then we have this like wheel. It just reminds me of a very similar idea. Ten of Swords is like dead, done, and over with. It means the cycle has ended. And we have to let go of this twisted energy, this distortion, this anxiety. You have no way of knowing what's on the other side unless you go there. And you can be cautious, that's fine. But don't cut yourself off completely from something that could be amazing. But in order to get there, you've got to do the inner work, the shadow work that comes with relationships, life, learning. You know, if it was only so easy, right? So let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. And I'm going to put these cards off to the side again. And we're going to go to deck number 3. Take a second to reflect if you'd like to continue on, or if you feel content with what you've watched. Totally up to you. All right, we're going to go now to Sacred Soul Portals, which is lovely because that's basically stepping into new energy? Are you ready to step into the new? So let's get what's at the center of the energy for deck number 3. And we have rejected heart. Interesting. Transform heartbreak into inner strength. It's like alchemy. I always say, take what you've learned from the past, apply it to the present so you can have a better future. I know what it feels like when you're rejected, where you feel like you're not good enough or you can't make it work. But what choice do you have? The heart is a muscle. Every time a muscle is torn, think of when you work out your body in general, like you go to the gym, you tear those muscles so that they can grow back stronger and bigger. And it's the same with the heart. So let's see. Clear the air. I got a kitty cat here that wants to get involved. Clear the air. No, sweetheart. You cannot. Can you please? She wanted to clear the air with everybody. Something may be clouding your judgment. Get some clarity and set something straight. I'm going to tell you what I think this is. It's a little bit different than the meaning on the card, even though it's the same rooted message. I think a lot of people always want this explanation as to why something didn't work. If you were rejected, you want to know why, because you take it personally. And I think something I say to people all the time is stop taking it so personally. Because more than likely, the reason why the person is rejecting the relationship or the connection is, well, it just may not be the right fit. Just because you think it is doesn't mean they think it is. And I know that's a really hard thing to accept. But oftentimes it's because somebody's really struggling within themselves, especially when you have situations where that person just told you how much they love you and how much they want you, and then they ghost you the next day, or they run from their feelings. It's because they don't feel good enough. It's because they've got their own traumas, triggers, and hurts that they haven't even processed. And so sometimes you want to have that conversation and you want to know the details. You want to know all the feedback. But what does it really matter in the end? Does it really matter whether you have a conversation or an apology or you clear the air? My view on apologies is that don't should on anyone. If you're sitting here saying I deserve an apology, they should do this or that. Well, no, they shouldn't do anything. They should do it on their own volition. If there is any shoulding here, it's on their own volition. You don't want an apology that's not from them authentically, right? So clearing the air, in my opinion, starts with you. It's clearing your own air. You don't have to clear their air or figure out all the details as to why the rejection happened. I know it's natural that we do that, but anyways. Here we have strong power. You tap into reserves you didn't know you had, and they help you get to the next level. This is where you got to dig deep. You got to take it on the chin. You got to say, okay, what can I learn from this? And whole heart. Devote yourself to your endeavors without concern. Committing helps you grow. You have to commit to yourself. This isn't just about committing to another person. You have to commit to yourself. And you've got to reflect, yes, but you don't have to spend hours reflecting and analyzing. I think it's more about a reflection of self versus the other person. I think that's the difference, is that when we say, oh, reflect on what happened, we want to know the who, what, when, where, why, and how, as if it all matters. And I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but what matters most is you. What did you learn from this? What can you take from this into your next steps or even relationship? It's time to remember the past and bring that wisdom forward to assist you now. What did you learn from it? Regardless of whatever the outcome is, what can you learn from it? I'll tell you what I learned, if you don't already know. I learned to trust the process. When this person walked out my front door and looked over their shoulder and said to me, trust the process, Kelly. Let me tell you, I didn't know what that meant. And that's where I get my trust the process, Kelly. And I'm not trying to mock the person. It's more like I had no clue what that meant. Well, let me assure you, I have learned it. If I haven't learned trust the process by now, there's something wrong with me. Now, that's not a reflection of you watching this video and where you're at and you're trusting the process, but I can assure you that I've learned this lesson full well, and it honestly has been the best lesson I've ever learned. And I know that trusting the process can be triggering for some of you, where you're tired of hearing that or you don't really fully grasp it. When you get to a point where you click with it, you will know. I'm curious to know how many of you have clicked with trust the process, or if you're still in that feeling of like, ugh, Kelly, I hate that term, or I hate that sentence. But if you ask me, there's no better saying. I don't think there's anything that could really be better than trust the process, because what choice do you have other than to trust? But that's just me. That's my hindsight. This says spiraling up. You are on the verge of a lucky break. Take risks and be on the lookout for a leg up. So here's the thing. You're on the verge of something really nice and new. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? If you're sitting here overanalyzing what your person is doing, what they've done, how they feel, you're putting all your energy into somebody else when your energy is number one. And I don't see any other way other than to focus on self. Because if you want that luck, you want that leg up, you got to put yourself in number one position. And see, it's all perspective. Talking to others and getting out of your bubble will help you see things differently. Exactly. Here's the thing. Be very careful who you talk to about relationships with. I always say make sure it's people who understand energy, and I mean genuinely understand energy. You could say anything to me and I don't flinch. There's no judgment. I've heard it all. At least I think I have. And I don't have that judgment for you because I want you to have the best of the best of the best. The problem is that when you have friends and family who don't understand energy, or they're unhappy in their own life, they will give you really bad advice. They'll want to keep you in the energy that they like you in because that serves their purpose, especially if they're jealous or, they want to see you do well but not better. That kind of energy does not help you. So if you're around friends or family, it's sad when it's your own family. That's one of the hardest ones. Then you've got to find ways to detach yourself from anything that could hold you back. Okay. Let's see. Keystone. There is one last piece to put into place. You have the power to bring things together. You know what the last piece is? It's you. It's you. It's your readiness to be open, your ability to be open, truly open. Are you ready to walk through this gate into this new energy? Because if you're not ready, if your energy doesn't match your words, nothing is shifting or nothing is changing. And here you go, good fortune. Abundance and prosperity are flowing into your life now. Open your arms to receive. Now I'm thinking, open your heart to me. It's funny how songs come through. Okay, let's take the tarot. And I got a kitty cat actually sitting on my tarot cards. Pardon me. Let's go back to clear the air. Oh, this one wants to come out. Yeah, the moon. Something needs to be revealed. And you can't even make this up. Look at this card, how like the clouds in the background. And then look at this smoke clouds, The moon is about revealing something, bringing something to light. It's time. Strong power. Tap into your reserves. Oh, can you even make this up? The strength card. Having the strength and the courage to push yourself forward. Whole heart. Two of Wands. You have to leave your comfort zone with your whole heart. Not half heart, not quarter heart, not a smidge of heart. You've got to put your whole heart and soul into something. When I left my career as a teacher, I talk about it all the time, I really didn't have a plan B. Like, what could be my plan B? It was either either doing what I'm doing right now with you or teaching in some capacity within a school. There was no in between. And I just said, okay, I'm all in. I'm hustling. I'm building my online family with my heart, authentically. If my heart didn't match my words, then you would know that very quickly, because I know that you all know that I speak from the heart. And that's what's made me successful at this. And I pride myself on that. And that's why I share that with you. I want you to have that same thing. You got to leave your comfort zone and believe in yourself and know in your heart that everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to. Now, reflecting here, we talked about this. Reflect on yourself, not the other person. The Magician, this card actually came out in the other reading, so maybe there's something here that's connected. And we have here the Magician, which is communication. Gemini and Virgo energy, be clear in your communication. If you're stuck in the past, that'll creep up into your present. And that's the last thing that you want, okay? You don't want any of that stuff coming back in to haunt you. That's the last thing you want. My goodness, I've got a kitty cat that wants to dig into everything while I'm in the middle of doing this. Okay, let's see what else we need to know here. Spiraling up. Three of Cups. Three of Cups is a card of celebration. You're on the verge of a lucky break. Are you ready to celebrate? Let's see. Perspective. Four of Cups. Here's the thing about the Four of Cups. Four of Cups means you could be overanalyzing something to the point where you don't see an opportunity. Are you looking at your glass half full or half empty? Are things working out for you, or do they never work out for you? It's all about your perspective. In my mind, it's always working out for me. And the keystone here, Justice, equal giving and receiving and balance. When I said the last piece is you and your ability to be open, are you open to receive? Are you open to feel balanced? You know, it's one thing to ask for happiness, another thing to allow it. Okay, what was this card that just had to jump out? And we have the Ten of Wands. Here's the thing. Ten of Wands is like mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted. You have to get to the point where you feel so burdened, so low, that there's no going lower. There's only up. And a lot of people fight themselves before they hit that low because they don't want to hit that low. That's what they're afraid of, is hitting that low. And I always say, if you've truly hit your low, like I mean truly hit your low, you will never entertain that thought, that feeling, that situation ever again. Think about a time in your life where you said, that's it, I'm done, and you meant it. Because that's the vibe you got to channel. Because I know that feeling. I remember exactly the moment. I was walking along a trail with my friend and I said, I do this, 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 and this, and who thinks about me? And I'm not saying that people don't care or that they didn't care. No, they did, and they do. But I was over it. I was done. When I tell you done. And I remember a second part to that conversation where my friend said to me, Kel, what if somebody sees you? What if somebody hears you? What if somebody this, that, whatever? Yeah? I don't care. That's when you know. That's when you know you're ready to go up. When you don't care what anybody thinks, says, does. I remember being in the mindset of like, what's anybody going to do to me? What are they going to say to me? I couldn't be any lower. I have nothing to lose. That's why people who have nothing to lose, you know, it's dangerous, because that's when we start taking risks. And if you want that good fortune, no risk, no reward. Yeah, you might piss off some people along the way. Yeah, they may not like your boundaries. They may leave your life. But that says more about them than it does about you. So, that being said, I really hope that this reading resonated with you. Please let me know in the comments. I feel like all three are connected in some way. Granted, I can definitely see why they are different. So please let me know in the comments how you feel about this Healing Heart Pick a Card reading. Thank you so much for your kindness and support. I send you so much healing and so much love. Thank you again.